very clear that they are going to ask for a mistrial on this issue of this drone video being let in.
We would have done this case in a little bit different manner if that was the situation. We didn't have the quality of evidence that the state had until the case had been closed.
At your book, that you phoned the former president, twice impeached, disgraced, to ask him to call off the rioters. But he didn't pick up the phone.
Right.
I'm sure he got your message. 5 people died that day. And many say, and I agree, that was the worst day in recent history for our democracy. In your view, is Trump responsible for what happened on January 6th?
Yeah, I think I said that in the book. That you know, but see, I think where people miss it is they talk about his speech that day, and I don't think it was the speech that day that did it. I think it's everything he did from election night forward.
Yeah.
You know, and I said that on ABC on election night that, you know, you can't come out as President of the United States behind the seal of the presidency in the East Room of the White House and say to the American people, elections being
fun night out.
Now, there are people at home going, I was at that party.
Oh, right.
I'm sure. They're like, I was at the post-apocalyptic party. That was
in Toronto.
Steve Bannon played to the cameras as he turned himself in.
Bust it down. From your goofy down.
Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of The Take. Like I said, this is The Take, the pop culture of Hub of Connect TV. Thank you all for watching The Take here on this Thursday, November 18th, 2021. Yeah, I got a little tongue tied this week. So happy because next week's gonna be Thanksgiving. You know, with Thanksgiving, with the turkey, the stuff, the dressing, stuffing, the cranberry, the greens, the black eyed peas, the macaroni and cheese. It's gonna be a feast next week for Thanksgiving. On the program note next week, we're not gonna have the take this next week. It will be a take, but it will be called our annual Turkey Day extravaganza again. And this time, President Trump, former President Donald Trump, was the subject of the greatest moments of throughout the year. Well, there's been an added caveat as President Biden will be added as that. So it's going to be Trump and Biden next week for the Turkey Day extravaganza. You know, we know they had their little presidential election last year where Biden won over Trump, and Trump didn't like that. He didn't like it one bit. He went and started the January 6th riots earlier this year. So we're going to catch you up on the highlights and recaps of that whole entire year from January 6th to now. And could Trump be speculating to run again against Biden? You never know. So we'll get to that. But first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, let's get started with the Take, with the big story. On the big story this week, man, rapper Dababy. Now, rapper Dababy been caught in a lot of controversy this past year with the gay controversy about stuff, homosexual rules and stuff like that. Well, that's another segue and stuff. But this is a new segue for him as he officially kicks out his baby mama, Danliegh. She's also a fellow singer. He kicked her out. He kicked her out of his house along with his baby. Well, the news, the Black Twitter, and the news blogs got onto this dick of it with this.
Into this very, very messy story. The rapper Dababy got into a huge argument with his baby mama Danliegh on IG Live. Dababy tried to kick Danliegh and their new baby, their newborn child, out of his condo for no reason. And when she wouldn't leave, he recorded her, put her on blast, and called the cops on her, y'all. It's my hand. What a coward. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Yeah, I'm live. He got the phone in his hand. Look at that shit.
You go.
Yeah, there I go. Do my thing. You nigga. You.
Bitch, it's cuckoo for cocoa.
Yeah, whatever. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. You want to record me talking about shut the fuck up?
I gotta record you for my sake.
Yeah, go ahead. It's the first thing.
We ain't finna burn that.
It's the first thing.
And then fellas, you think.
Baby, the first time.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like this.
Nah. Go with your move, crazy girl. Started to
Yeah, whatever. He wanna call the f***ing cops on me for whatever the reason. Whatever. Stupid ass. My 3-month-old baby. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. No, I don't need to tell you nothing. Nah, you good. You can talk to him because he wanna call you guys. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nah, go ahead. Ain't nobody need to talk to nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Now, after this video was released, the baby did make this post on his IG story to explain the video. He said, I would like to swiftly remove myself from any of the hostile behavior put on display moments ago. This here thing has gone far enough for Shawty to crash out on her own. And it saddens me because I still got a queen to raise. The last hour has been documented for my safety and business, done based on my reputation. With multiple threats of setting up an internet scheme and a person refusing to not let me go, me and somebody else here knew to record her. I done been beat on and yelled at and chased around like one of them Fatal Attraction type girls, but I knew to keep it together. He also went on to say that he's not pressing charges. He just wants Danny out of his house, and he promoted his tour in this same post. Now, when he posted this, Danliegh responded, and she revealed on her IG story that the baby wanted to kick her out for no reason at all. She said, hey guys, since baby want to put up a statement with his cap self, I'll put mine up. So we've been living with each other for the past 3 months since our baby been born, doing us. And tonight he want to come in the room talking about, I need to go. Don't matter where I go, mind you, I have a newborn child. So he said I can go to a hotel. This man is mad because I had a plan B sent to his condo because all he want to do is come in me with no responsibility. Obviously, he probably want me out so he can F on his other baby mama and other HOs. But who been knowing we've been living together this whole time? While I just had my first child, this all goes to say that this man is an effing coward. I'm sleeping after cooking him dinner and he want to say I need to go? F you, baby. And dang, I really should have just listened to the cat internet about this man. I'ma learn and I'ma grow. But this right here ain't it. And I'm sorry to my baby that her father is kicking her out of her home at 3 months.
It's kind of sad, the baby. It's one thing you and Danliegh can't get along, but at that time too, you kick out your baby. What kind of man are you, man? You know, I get relationships don't work out. Some people argue constantly, and you know, we don't know what goes on in a relationship or a marriage or something like that. It's between the two people and God. If God knows about it, if God want to do something about it, we don't know. But him filming her while she's vulnerable with a baby and then want to kick both of them out, I think that's kind of childish and stupid. And it shows his character, and it sends a sign to women that if you want to get with this man will treat you just like he'll treat her. And she kind of had to learn the hard way. And she sent this tweet like, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow. You should have saw the signs in the beginning. And then she made a ignorant statement a couple of months ago that he prefers yellow bone women. I mean, he likes women regardless, but he likes to dog and treat women the same as well. So I think this is a cautionary tale to Danliegh to, you know what? I need to vet people. Sometimes that's what you need to do. When you go on these dates, there are red flags. So vet people while you dating them. And then if they're for you, they're for you. If they're not, and you seem that he's not, and you know, you can be just like my relative that just don't. I got a ton of relatives that kind of think like Danliegh. They don't really like vet people. They just want to get in the thick of it and get in relationships and say they in a relationship. Sometimes when you get in a relationship, know the person and learn the person. You just can't just get in and just say you in a relationship. It ain't gonna work out like that for you or them. So then you bring a baby along too. It makes things worse and it adds depression and stuff like that. So I guess the baby and Danliegh, whatever they got going on, hopefully, if they can't reconcile, it is what it is. They can always co-parent with that little daughter. So in the thick of it. All right, we move on to another story in celebrity news. Britney Spears is a free woman. Yes, Britney Spears, who has been fighting for conservatorship for the past 13 years. Britney Spears is officially a free woman. And Britney Spears can now focus on her engagement to Sam Gazara. And she's already talking about having this.
Conservatorship for 13 years. It's a really long time to be in a situation you don't want to be in. So I'm just grateful, honestly, for each day and being able to have the keys to my car, being able to be independent and feel like a woman, and owning an ATM card, seeing cash for the first time, being able to buy candles.
Spears ultimately giving thanks to her fans who fought for her independence.
In the Free Britney movement, you guys rock. Honestly, my voice was muted and threatened for so long, and I wasn't able to speak up or say anything, and because of you guys and the awareness of kind of knowing what was going on and delivering that news to the public for so long, you gave it awareness to all of them, and because of you, I honestly think you guys saved my life in a way.
Britney also attaching a caption to the video, calling the conservatorship demoralizing and degrading, adding about her family, "I'm not even mentioning all the bad things they did to me, which they should be in jail for."
Many people have asked about
Britney Spears, she needs to slow. I just talked about it on the big story with Danliegh and Dababy. She got to slow it down. I know you know the man, but too, I think, like a lot of black blogs too, like Impressive, saying she doesn't trust Sam Lazar and what his intentions are. Sometimes too, when you come in relationships, you have to know what the person's intentions are, and then too, what that person changed for you, and it's a growing process. You're growing. If they're not growing, you're trying to grow, then something ain't gonna work. Sam might be good, but I think too he spends more time on Instagram trying to get followers and stuff. So I want to caution Britney Spears to be a little bit careful. And I get you want to have baby fever and stuff, but you can Britney Spears just talking. Focus on raising your two boys. Focus on raising them and get them back on track, rather than trying to start a new family and the process. And then too, with Britney Spears' mental health, I mean, she probably need a little bit more. Ain't gonna say she need a conservative, but she needs some watchful eyes on her, because she kind of, Britney Spears. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Some people say Britney Spears might need a little bit more help herself. So we'll keep an eye on Britney Spears going forward on that. All right, we move forward to talk shows this week. All right, the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, made a recent visit to Ellen DeGeneres, and she talked about everything with Ellen before Ellen about to get canned herself. Let's take a look.
On the Ellen DeGeneres show, the Duchess of Sussex recalls when she and Harry went to a Halloween party together before their relationship was out in the public.
You got to go to a Halloween party.
We did. He came to see me in Toronto, and our friends and his cousin Eugenie, and now her husband Jack, they came as well, and the four of us snuck out in Halloween costumes to just have one fun night on the town before it was out in the world that we were a couple.
The partygoers had no idea it was in fact Meghan and Harry, since the pair really got into the spooky season that year.
So you went with Harry to a Halloween party, and they had no idea it was the two of you?
No. It was a post-apocalypse theme, so we had all of this very bizarre costuming on, and we were able to just sort of have one final fun night out.
Now, there are people at home going, I was at that party.
Oh, right.
I'm sure. They're like, I was at the post-apocalyptic party.
In Toronto,
Which ones were they?
Meghan called the party their, quote, final night out before the world knew they were a couple, which on October 31st, 2016, the news finally leaked that Harry was dating the former actress. At a time, a source told the Sunday Express that Harry's, quote, happier than he's ever been for many years.
We later found out that the two privately dated for about 6 months. And now, fast forward 5 years, Meghan and Harry are married and have 2 kiddos together. And their Halloween this year was a lot different than their first Halloween together.
Halloween, we were like, this is your chance. You can go out. You can get dressed up and actually go out. But y'all chose to stay home this year.
We were home and we saw you guys, which was great. But no, we wanted to do something fun for the kids. And then the kids were just not into it at all. Archie was a dinosaur for maybe 5 minutes.
Not even 5 minutes.
Not even 5 minutes.
Finally, Harry talked him into putting the head on. But Lily was a skunk.
She was a little skunk.
Meghan Markle, just spilling out. I kind of get what some people are saying about Meghan. She's trying to be more, put herself out there and her and Harry and stuff. I kind of see it when they did the Oprah interview and they talked about the color of her son Archie's skin. And then they saying it's they fame, you know what, just to get more famous. I kind of want to agree with it because it's kind of like Piers Morgan making a point. She's now appearing on Ellen DeGeneres. What kind of agenda Meghan Markle trying to get out? But only time will tell with Meghan Markle. It is what it is. All right, we'll be back with more Take. Don't go anywhere. This is The Take here on Connect TV. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Take. I'm your host as always, Kenny Dix here. Glad you can join us here on Take on this Thursday, November 18th, 2021. What a Thursday has been here on The Take. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Take here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe if you can. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on The Take. Don't forget on the program note that next week we will have a Take, but it won't be the Take as regularly as we do cover weekly pop culture and events and stuff. It'll be a Take special as we'll talk about former President Donald Trump and current President Joe Biden for their Turkey Day extravaganza. So look for that coming soon next week. So I might drop on Wednesday. You never know. So look for that next week. All right, and enjoy your Thanksgiving as well, the helpings, the feastings. All right, let's get with the political rundown. The political rundown this week. Now, speaking of former President Trump, he had a former advisor, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon been indicted for his role in the January 6th incident. Let's take a look right now.
Steve Bannon played to the cameras as he turned himself in and live streamed his surrender to federal law enforcement.
We're taking down the Biden regime. I want you guys to stay focused, stay on message. Remember, signal, not noise. This is all noise, that's signal.
Inside court, a more reserved Bannon told a federal judge he understood the conditions of his release, including turning over his passport. The former White House strategist faces 2 charges of criminal contempt of Congress for failure to appear for a deposition and to produce documents to the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack. Both carry a fine of up to $100,000 and a year in jail if convicted.
This is going to be the misdemeanor from hell for Merrick Garland, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden.
The 67-year-old podcast host was represented by a new lawyer, David Schoen, who also defended former President Trump during the second impeachment trial.
This thing was a scam from the beginning. It is outrageous that a criminal charge was brought in this case.
The Select Committee believes Bannon had specific knowledge and was in touch with the former president in the run-up to the Capitol riot.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
The panel has issued nearly 36 subpoenas and is also threatening contempt charges against former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows after he skipped a deposition last week.
Nobody's above the law. The chairman has said that. The vice chair has said that. Stonewalling Congress is not an answer.
Steve Bannon turned himself in, and now Steve Bannon can now look at his precious skin. And Steve Bannon now, I think Steve Bannon gonna be kind of like looking like curmudgeon. He's gonna look like the new version of the Grinch coming up next month. He is the Grinch in a way, you know. Hey, it is what it is. But Steve Bannon put himself in a lot of stuff with Trump. Steve Bannon wish he couldn't, but he was the one using propaganda tactics with Trump to help Trump win the election. So you never know with Steve Bannon going forward. speaking of propaganda tactics, a lot of people are amused with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Kyle Rittenhouse, the 18-year-old who came, I know he went to a Black Lives Matter protest and shot 2 protesters in aim of the Black Lives Matter protest. They said his mother dropped him off, and he was supposed to be from Chicago, and his mother drove them up to Wisconsin, and he just went on a killing spree. So now we looked at last week that he was crying, trying to be a crybaby and stuff. But things are could be heading in his favor because a lot of people are looking in the eye and the judge who's been favoring him lately about stuff. Well, let's get to the latest with what's going on in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial right now.
About it. It is a drone video taken by a civilian. The civilian, though, did not hand that video over to prosecutors until 5 days into this trial, meaning the defense could not review the high-resolution version of this. They had an older and more difficult-to-see version, but they couldn't review it in what they thought was a timely manner before it was shown to the jury. The jury had asked that they see this particular video, that they'd be able to watch it as many times as they want. The judge granted that, but the defense made very clear that they are going to ask for a mistrial on this issue of this drone video being let in.
We would have done this case in a little bit different manner if that was the situation. We didn't have the quality of evidence that the state had until the case had been closed. I'm going to be asking the court for a mistrial, but their client lied about this on the stand is the state's position. There seems to be evidence to support the position that he lied on the stand about raising the gun. He was confronted with the exhibit. He denied it. The jury wants to see these exhibits.
You heard the prosecution's rebuttal there. The prosecution saying, hey, the reason why you don't want this jury to be able to look at evidence in this case is because it refutes what your client said on the stand. And that is exactly why they are saying this should be let in. The truth is important in this case. And
the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is still ongoing at this moment, so we don't know at this time what could be happening. Things could happen in an instant. It could happen later tonight. Could he be charged? But if we do, we'll kind of have a little bit information if it do happen. So you never know. But Kyle Rittenhouse, you 18 years old. Why are you out there? If you're going to protest, go on protest with the Black Lives Matter. You 18 years old. Why are you against it? Now I don't get why his mother. I get if you're a Republican. I understand. You grow and view out. But in his age group, he's supposed to be more open-minded, not closed-minded. But I blame his mother for that. And his mother should not even took him down there in the first place and put him on this mess. But he had, if he do the time, if he do the crime, you got to do the time. That's the only thing that matters. So we'll see going forward. Also, too, former New Jersey Governor Christie released a book about blaming Trump for the January 6th riots. And he sat down with the ladies of The View to recall the events that happened on January 6th. Take a look.
At your book, that you phoned the former president, twice impeached, disgraced, to ask him to call off the rioters. But he didn't pick up the phone.
Right.
I'm sure he got your message. 5 people died that day. And many say, and I agree, that was the worst day in recent history for our democracy. In your view, is Trump responsible for what happened on January 6th?
Yeah, I think I said that in the book. That but see, I think where people miss it is they talk about his speech that day, and I don't think it was the speech that day that did it. I think it's everything he did from election night forward.
Yeah.
And I said that on ABC on election night that you can't come out as President of the United States behind the seal of the presidency in the East Room of the White House and say to the American people, elections being stolen if you don't present any evidence. I mean, for me as a prosecutor, that would be like going to the grand jury and saying, I have no evidence to show you right now, but just return the indictment. Trust me, and I'll handle it from here. It's not the way our system works. And so I think he incited those folks from that moment on. And that the speech at the end, I quite frankly thought was not nearly as big a deal as the 2 months before the speech. And so there's no question that he is not only being responsible by what you said before, but he didn't take steps that day to stop it.
Yeah.
And I think both of those things are things that are beneath the position that he held. And so, but again, like, you got to tell the truth about this stuff. And I think some of that stuff is just self-evident, whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat or an independent. It doesn't matter. That was a bad day, and a day that, all of us should be looking at as not only, and as some people talk about the fragility of our democracy, I look at it as a day that shows the strength of it, because those men and women in Congress got back on the floor of the House and the Senate by 4 a.m., and they did their job and they certified the election. And despite the fact that they were under threat then, and that many of them worried about their safety going forward because of the vote.
But how was it possible in 2020?
Like Christie just trying to distance himself from Trump. But then when Trump won, you was all with it. You was getting it. Now you distance yourself from the man. I mean, if you're gonna do that, then do that. But you just can't blabber him saying I called him, he ignored me. I called him, he ignored me. I mean, it's just a open book. So with that story, I don't know if Christian, they saying he's eyeing for a presidential run. Man, you will lose. Just be Trump's vice president, because you can't battle Trump, because he's gonna divide the conservatives. So I don't know why he's still trying to think he can win. Ugh. It is. And finally, the viral video of the week. The viral video of the week is this new internet sensation that's on TikTok and looks to be a Bigfoot, but a Bigfoot has a pink bow and some little thing around, pink wrap belt or something around him. And her name is Bigfoot Babe. Let's look at the latest from Bigfoot Babe.
Bust it out, from your goofy dog, funny, it's my bad bitch, I'm so I'ma bust it open. I said my favorite phone, half like rack, stuck on track, height, jury on me, flashlight. I been listening last night, hit him with that good, make you wanna act right. Broke boys don't deserve no kitty, I know that's right. That pussy, not the belly band, take 'em out. Into the thick of it, into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. I know I may be young, but I've got feelings for you. Them into the bush. Now watch me. Into the thick of it.
Bigfoot Babe is a she creature that likes to dance and be on TikTok. Well, this is a new Bigfoot, and it generate over a million views and counting. So Bigfoot Babe doing the thing and being Bigfoot Babe. So it is what it is. Congratulations to Bigfoot Babe. All right. Thank you all for watching this edition of The Take. We will be back in 2 weeks for another edition of The Take. We're gearing up for Christmas. Thanksgiving coming around this next week. So enjoy the special, the Take special, Trump, Biden, Thanksgiving, Turkey Day extravaganza here on the Connect TV. So for me being Kendrick Dick said so long, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for The Take. See you later.